What up, Coop Group? Welcome to Alliance War Season 22, the final war number 12. War against for Loki. Now, I wouldn't have picked any other team to have a final war against for this season, because this season has ups and downs, but to finish off against some friends and some fun, it was just a fun war overall. But I'll show you why it's a fun war. I took Ghost out. They're running the Global Protect, which means Ghost isn't as good. She can still do damage, but not with specials, which means I'm bringing in a whole new team to this Alliance War. I was hoping I'd get more fights, but I think I had 5 fights scheduled. But I'm bringing in Red Hawk, Quake, and Nick Fury. We have suicides for 1 fight, but I plan on doing 2 perfect Quake fights. 1 Nick Fury fight and 2 Red Hawk fights. And I am going big. I'm boosting big. I'm throwing out some inbound boosts to make sure I don't die here. We're up against some pretty big players. Panama Pete, Enzo Eigen, my incursions partner. Dreamin', just apparently the evil one as people call him. Legacy, and Dap. Those are the 5 people we're fighting against here. I do want that Rhino. If I can get it, I'll totally take it. But Path 4, I went Path 9 and Path 4. Path 4 is going to be pretty easy. That Mole Man I was a bit worried about. I was told to bring in a mutant. I was told AA at first, but I figured Archangel, he's going to shrug off all my parries and my bleed, so Archangel won't do that much damage. Then we have this Apocolypse on Hazard Shift. And normally, if this was even a Stubborn War, I would bring Ghost for that fight. But it's not a Stubborn War, it's Protect. Therefore, I'm going to bring in this main team. I'm boosting up big, as you can tell, with a 30% boost. I was boosting up big in case I was going to take that Rhino, because Rhino has physical resistance. My buddy Jean Bell took that fight. Good job to that fight, by the way. I will put his fight and his war video in the description below, as will I put all the other 4 Loki members and my same Alliance members, their videos in the description also. So if you want to check out their fights, go ahead and check it out in the description. But anyways, boosting up big. First fight's a Red Hawk, Panama Pete's Red Hawk, Ghoster versus Ghoster. Let's do this. I'm bringing in, I should have brought in Ghost for this fight, but I'm going to bring in Quake. I know that Panama Pete is great at Quake also. So yeah, going to bring in Quake, going to put on inbound boost here. Totally wasting it. Totally wasting this inbound boost. But I am not going to mess up this war. I'm going to finish this war with 2 deaths this season. That's my goal, because it's the least amount of deaths I've ever had in any season. Last season was, 2 seasons ago was 6 deaths. Last season was 3 deaths. Hoping to finish this one with 2. But going to be doing some perfect quaking here. I see that takes about 15-16% off per aftershock. Well, per aftershock cycle. So I'm like, alright, I can totally do this fight. Easy peasy. I can do full dex method. Now, to your surprise, I'm not just good at Ghost. I have plenty of other champions that I'm pretty decent at, I would say. I'm pretty decent at Quake. My Quake is unawakened. Not that she needs to be awakened at all if I'm not going to be blocking at all. But I'm going to throw some heavies here, mainly because I'm just pushing him away. And I know that I can throw about 3 or 4 heavies before he gets a bar of power. So I'm trying to keep him away from a bar of power. But I know if he hits me, then he'll get some power. So I'm trying to stay away from that also. But while the concussion is up, I'm throwing the heavy attacks, because then Hazard Shift won't do anything to me at all while the concussions are up. Still at 100% for this fight. Just doing perfect dex method here with my Quake. And this fight is over. First fight down, Panama Pete. You were a lovely opponent. Thank you for that fight. Now Enzo Eigen, my incursions buddy. I feel bad to beat up your Tigra. Feels so bad. But this is Hazard Shift and Resistor and Power Focus 1. So Tigra, not sure what the idea was here. I guess trying to make sure someone can't quake this. Tigra is a bit difficult to quake. She's possible to quake, but a bit difficult. And Ghost would have been really good for this fight, because she's small, so Protect wouldn't have been a bother at all. But with Power Focus 1, her biggest issue is her second special. Her first special is pretty easy to dodge. Her second one is really hard to dodge. But I am big boosted here. Hazard Shift is very much feeding into Red Hawk's heat charges. I have a rank 2 unawakened Red Hawk. Not that awakened ability would do anything here really much, besides help me start with heat charges and give me a bit more physical resistance. But I do block part of that special 1. My goal here is to throw special 3s. And not get intercepted or smacked. Special 3, because of Resistor, it's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to do normal damage. It's going to do the the heat charge damage, and it's going to also incinerate her. So she's at 39%, pushed down to 34%, so that did 5% extra incinerate damage, and she's getting incinerated to death here. Still, those incinerators are doing huge damage. I'm baiting special ones. I did a lot of duels against Tigra, just baiting special ones and trying to dodge them. I know the first hit it normally is not unblockable, so I got to block that, even though she's going to throw it there. I do not have suicides on here, but I know that special one would not do that much damage because of resistor, so I'm just hitting into her, smacking her. Goodbye, Endo Eigen's Tigra. I'm so sorry if I'm beating her up, but to be honest, you beat up my Wasp, so this is only fair game for me to beat up one of your champions. Anyways, as I came over here, I saw that Rhino was taken on 23 by my lovely friend Chanvel. I was hoping that I could have taken it. It was Lyser's Rhino, but he sold it with Quake. I was going to do that. But now, 12 hours later, I swear, like, Section 2 is always 12 hours later for me. I'm hoping for everyone from across the seas in my battle group to finish their path so I can just run to mini-bosses. That didn't happen. Now, as you see here, I put on a 10% champion boost. Not 30, but 10. And that's for that Mole Man fight. Because I'm going to use Nick Fury for that fight. The Sentinel fight, I have no issue with. It's spry, and it's unblockable only if I get 3 debuffs or more on me. But the only way I'll get debuffs on me is if Sentinel throws a special on me. Now this is Dream and Sentinel. He loves to say the word pitiful. So I'm going to say that his Sentinel did a pitiful job even hitting me here. I'm at 100% health. I plan to finish this fight at 100% health, and you'll see that I have a pretty good Quake fight. I didn't even bother putting on an inbound boost here because I'm like, why waste it? I was going to put one on to try and get the next 2 fights, but next fight is against a moment with Nick Fury, and Nick Fury has an extra life, so I figured it won't be an issue at all. Now, both of these champions are both large and extra large, therefore they do have the Protect Global protecting them. But, of course, with Quake, you never really hit the champion, so besides the heavies I'm throwing, so Protect is never going to initiate. Not an issue at all. Now, I am throwing a few heavies here, again, doing the same thing I did in the Red Hulk fight, just to push him away and not have him in my face the whole time, so I can build up a few more after charges. I'm looking here, he's at 24, about 11 health. I'm like, alright, I can throw a heavy here, I'll be fine. He's almost at a special one, but as long as I do a perfect quaking right here, don't get hit, I'll be fine. Don't get hit, and Sentinel falls. How pitiful of him to even try to match my skills. Alright, on to the next fight. This is a Mole Man. And I'm going to bring in Nick Fury for this fight. Now, my plan here is I know that he shrugs off debuffs pretty quickly, so my goal here is to not hit into his block. Do not hit into his block. I almost always do that. I dueled him 10 times, and half the times I hit into his block. There's Crumbling Armor, and there is Build Up Unblockable, which means that if I do too much damage with Protect, then he gets a protection for 30% damage. But also, if I get 3 debuffs on me, which is only possible if he gets a special on me. If I get 3 debuffs on me, he goes unblockable, which is an issue here. But I'm just baiting out heavies here and baiting out specials, as you'll see here. I did a bunch of duels. I'm throwing light attacks, combos ending light, so I can get some bleed damage here. But this fight is probably the longest fight I've had in all of this season. Because I mainly did Ghost, this fight takes so long. He doesn't even have that much health. But I'm barely boosted because of the fact that if I hit him too hard, I will initiate Protect. And I didn't want that, hence why I didn't throw on a 30% boost. So then I'll have to do some intercepts, and I really don't feel like hitting to his block on accident. Baiting special ones, perfect dex right there. Get a special 2, but I'm like, do I throw it? I almost hit into his block there. I was so tempted to hit into his block, but I'm like, no, he's going to destroy me. I'm doing so well so far. I know he's only at like 70% after a minute, and this fight is going so long. But it's fine. He's at a special 2. Now, when he has his, whatever you call his little staged active, his special 2 is unblockable. I just back away from it. I'm fine. I did duel with Quake, but he has True Strike, and Quake is terrible for this fight, so thank God I didn't bring Quake to this fight. I could have brought Red Hulk to this fight, I'm sure, but building heat charges could have been a bit more difficult than before. But Nick Fury did great. I think that Nick Fury did better than I would have done with Archangel. Now, Archangel makes it so he doesn't get his monster mass as quickly. But, like, I think it would have purified all my bleeds and my parries. So I'm glad I didn't bring in Archangel. And right there, I almost hit into his block right there. Because when he's blocking, I just really want to hit into his block. I'm like, no, don't do it. He's at 30%. Now he can't shrug off any of my bleeds, which is nice. Gonna get some big bleeds on him. I'm holding a special 3, not even gonna bother throwing it, because why bother? Don't get hit by the shock. Don't get hit by him smacking up and run into him. Still has not able to shrug off any buffs. And this fight is over. Just like that, it took over 2 minutes. Over 2 minutes for that fight. 89 hits. It's the most amount of hits I've ever had. 84 hits. Most of my hits I've ever had, ever. But Legacy, again, you were a lovely opponent. Always hitting into my block. Not sure how you trained your mole man, but that was not the way to go. If I were you, I would have him throw more heavies and just hit into me, put me in the corner. Nice try. But anyways, at this point, I went to sleep. It was 3-3. They had one fight left. We had plenty of fights left. This is the best that my alliance has ever done this whole season up to this point. Usually we're at 10 deaths at this point, but we're at 3 deaths. So I wake up, I look at the deaths, and we've lost this war. Whatever. But I made a wager with one of their members, Taters, that we have less deaths than them. It was 2-1. 2 of their battle groups in battle group 3 to 1 death in my battle group 3. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do this fight. I was scheduled for this APOC. Before doing it, someone told me that Apocolypse has 100% negative AAR against purifying, which means that no one can purify debuffs against him. So in Hazard Shift, Red Hawk may not be able to purify any of the incinerates or poisons. I might be in trouble. Throwing an invuln boost. And it's against DAP's Apocolypse. Rank 5 Apocolypse. DAP also has this fun channel called Don't Tap It Up. So make sure you check out his channel and watch these Don't Tap It Up videos when people are dapping it up. My goal here is to not dap it up and not mess it up and not die here. Now I did a duel, and I took Apocalypse Special 1 to the face, which gave me a poison. And I realized that I was still able to purify / remove the poison. Therefore, I knew Red Hawk was still a good option for this Hazard Shift fight. I'm just going to bait Special 1s here. I know that I'm taking a lot of block damage in his special, so I'm trying to get the 3rd evade out of his Special 1, which you'll see me do half the time. Other half, my block gets stuck. But as you see, I am not purifying, because Red Hawk used to purify, but it's been changed to just being immune / removing debuffs, which incinerate a poison, which is really useful. Now, we're not super matched up on health. I do have more health here, but he does have a lot of health in this fight, and I'm throwing a special 3 here because of all the extra damage. But you'll see, once the incinerate ends, he becomes incinerate immune, so throwing a special 3 becomes useless anymore. I threw on half suicides also for this fight, just to do more damage, and I figured I wouldn't be throwing many specials here, just destroying her with my heat charges. Now, Apocalypse is a pretty easy fight. I did boost up with a 30% boost, but I knew I would never activate Protect. If I did practice my intercepts, which I didn't have to do any of them. He did become incinerate immune here, which is not an issue at all. Dexterity out of the last part of that special 1. Now, I could have gone under 50% on purpose if I wanted to activate Courage, but it was pretty much pointless. I'm at 10 heat charges. He's almost dead. Throw a special 1 here. Yeah, there is recoil, whatever, but it's my last fight of the war. Last fight of this whole season. He throws a special 1. He throws those beams at me. I run at him. Smack, he's dead. Goodbye. I sent that screenshot to DAP. He really wanted me to die. He was telling me to send him a video, send him screenshots, and I sent him that at the end saying, good riddance. I didn't dap it up. His APOC wasn't able to hold on to my Red Hawk. The funny thing is, his main champion in Alliance War is Red Hawk. So I took that fight with his main champion, Red Hawk. I think that's pretty ironic. Anyways, this war is over. We knew that we had already lost. We ended up dying twice in my battle group, which you'll see right here. It was 2-2 in our battle groups, both battle group 3s. So nobody wins at Wager. Nobody wins that. It was just, they put on a great performance. We put on a great performance. And as you see here, we ended up losing this war. We died twice this season as compared to our 3 times last season, but we took 6 less fights this season. Officer decided to give me a lot less fights this season, which I'm not happy about, but hoping next season I get more. And we had a worse streak, but then again, we got docked last season, so there was some wars that we could have done so much better on this season, which we will fix. Promise you that next season we'll be 12-0. And this brings the total non-ghost fights up to 11. It was 6 last war, up to 11, almost double the non-ghosting fights. Maybe next season you'll see some non-ghosting wars. Most likely I will bring Ghost into almost every war again because I'm just really confident with Ghost, and I'll get more confident in other wars. But anyways, we finished in 6th place out of all Masters because we lost that war. Although It's 9th place overall. Our real goal at the beginning of the season was top 10 in Masters. But as we got closer to the top 3, we really wanted the top 3. But before this war started, we realized top 3 was out of the grasp. This war was really fighting for 4th place out of all Masters, out of the whole world. Now, to be in 9th place, I'm pretty proud of the alliance, but I know that some alliances slipped through in front of us that we could have easily beaten if we had matched them. Yes, that is pretty confident, but every alliance we fought this season did great. Nobody really destroyed our defense, and I guess some did destroy our defense, but 4Loki only died with 3 deaths this whole war, and they did the best out of all. Out of all alliances we fought, they did the best. I believe Kenobi died 5 times. ASR died 7 times. So they deserve top 3, if anything. Then again, they did not do that well, so maybe they don't. But we deserve at least 5th place, I think, based on how we did. Although we did do terrible this season. We had 2 or 3 wars, but we were under 10 deaths. All the other wars were over 10 deaths. That is not a Masters top 3 potential. So we will be the next season. I promise you that. Season rewards coming out most likely Thursday. I'll catch you guys later. This is Coop signing off. Happy gaming and happy season rewards.